Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with the Mid-South Wrestling Review Series here on Pro Wrestling Logic. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. And also go subscribe to our main channel, which is Golden Opportunities Coaching. If you need career, relationship, entertainment, or life coaching, that is a great place to go. Information over there on how to set up appointments. We're going to make 2021 the best year yet. We all need to get back on task after the challenges of 2020. The Fantastics versus Tommy Pritchard and Pat Rose. And as mentioned, Pritchard in previous episodes, Pritchard and Rose have kind of found a niche. Fantastics here, they are back through for I think the third time in the history of their time in Mid-South, and Fulton and Pritchard kind of tie up. They actually end up doing some feuding in Smoky Mountain years later, which is kind of cool. Anyway, some shots across the arm. Rogers grabs the arm, stays with it, and up and over on his adversary there, and some basics, and ultimately Tom Pritchard with a body slam. Doesn't get what he wants. Rose comes in, gets arm dragged for his trouble as well, and off the ropes goes the good old Mr. Rose, and then again tags off by the Fantastics. They're double teaming, getting things going in their direction, at least for a while. Rogers comes in, grabs a hold, and sticks with it for a little bit, and rolls through just a little bit there, and ultimately hard shots by Rose. Rose manages to kind of send things back into the buckle. The heels take over for a little bit. Tag off to Fulton. Fulton comes back in. Big back body drop. And Rose has trouble getting over on that one. It looks like almost dives into the canvas. Double team by the Fantastics. Actually, both heels are run together. Clothesline there by Rogers. Rogers comes back in. They do a double team maneuver, kind of a drop kick in a suplex position. 1, 2, 3. Fantastics get a win. Kamala and Muhammad versus Walker and Lane. Interesting. Kareem Muhammad and Kamala teaming together for what I'm pretty sure is the first time. Zambui Express and Kamala, an interesting combination, and Skandor Akbar is very happy with their teaming potential. He's talking about them being a dominant team. Jason Walker and Frankie Lane. Lane and Walker not going to do a lot with these big men. Mohammed does not register much of the offensive maneuvers by Lane attempted, and Walker comes in, and Mohammed takes him down as well. Kamala comes in, double chops, kicks, and basic striking maneuvers that Kamala is known for. Kamala continues to go off on his man, and Muhammad comes back in, kind of dominant, throwing the man around, trying to eliminate both opponents wherever possible. Actually, easily could have turned this into a handicap match for either one of the two heels, and that would have been fine too, but that's not what this is going to be. I wonder if that means that down the road, through the summer, I'm going to see some tag team matches for Akbar's heels here that are more competitive, maybe even a babyface tag switch, and then this team going for the tag belts. Big diving elbow drop by Kareem Muhammad. He gets a victory there. Then we move to Randy Benson and Dick Murdoch. Obviously, that's going to be one-sided as well. Interesting that every once in a while there are matches or series here of matches that Watts kind of has an enhancement-heavy program. I don't know if that's by design or what that is. Captain Redneck, though, makes his way out, and he's ready to go right from the get-go again. Brought back in by Bill Watts to handle DiBiase and all of that. Take over and hooks up on his opponent Benson here. Cranks up on the head, stays with it, and Benson, not impressive or a challenge to Murdoch, who continues to go back to the head for several more minutes. Ultimately, Murdoch takes punches, kicks, shots, elbows to the back of the head, and the like. Murdoch with a body slam and gets the man in the middle of the ring. Irish whip and a back elbow. Murdoch does so many just basic strikes that look threatening, and then big elbow drop in the middle. Wins with an elbow drop. I mean, who could do that in 2021, right? Anyway, Private Terry Daniels versus Buddy Roberts. And obviously, Buddy Roberts won a third of the Freebirds. We'll see another third of the Freebirds here this week as well at the close of the program. Anyway, and then we kind of go back through a couple of things, but Michael Hayes is with Buddy Roberts, and just I'll cut to the chase. The Freebirds are going to be here in full force, as by the end of the program, Roberts says that Terry Gordy will be coming in. Ride time, though, early by Buddy Roberts here on Terry Daniels. They do some good mat wrestling, and Daniels comes out the back door, so kind of squares off a little bit there. Headbutt to the back of the head by Roberts. Roberts kind of keeps on Daniels pretty aggressively. Slows the match down with some forearms. Daniels fights his way back from underneath. Roberts slows the match down with more strikes, even across the apron and basic stuff there. Cross body for near fall by Daniels. Daniels has been a pretty good force in this time frame. Meanwhile, there is a trip from the outside by Michael Hayes to get things going back in the way of Buddy Roberts, which is good for business if you're the Freebirds. Roberts is the kind of the heater of the group and manages to drop a stomp on Terry Daniels, hits a bulldog in the middle, and I believe that is what leads to the victory. Yes, the victory for Buddy Roberts. And then Dutch Mantell against the Snowman for the television championship. Finally, an angle for Mantell to kind of sink his teeth into. Snowman has been television champion on and off for a while here, and obviously that television championship not as important as it is in other territories. For example, Crockett seems to treat the television championship a little bit better, but meanwhile, Mantell finally finding a role that gives him something to do. Power moves by the Snowman early, and Eddie Gilbert is watching on with this, perhaps looking for the Nightmare to unify the championships, or looking at maybe managing somebody else. Don't really know what the deal is with Gilbert being at ringside. Gilbert takes more of a role in 86, 87, but he's still hanging around here. Power moves, and Dutch Mantell heads to lower ground in a hurry, kind of begging off and getting regrouping a bit as we continue to see Mantell come back in, take some cheap shots at the Snowman, and manages to kick at the leg, punch at the skull, cheat and poke in the eye, whatever he needs to do. Mantell, a really good heel here. If you've never read Dutch Mantell's books, those are fun reads. Don't know how much of the stories are true, but fun reads nonetheless. Anyway, to the outside goes the Snowman, gets distracted a little bit. Anyway, a couple of chair shots cause a disqualification by Dutch Mantell. The Snowman retains the championship on the basis of that disqualification. And then the champion, a.k.a. the Nightmare, against Brad Armstrong. And, of course, champion still your North American champion, Eddie Gilbert, still managing the Nightmare, a.k.a. the champion. And Armstrong, former North American champion himself. So, bit of a challenge there. Armstrong having a little bit of a struggle with the power early of the champion. And Armstrong peppers him with shots, several of them. Doesn't get what he wants fully, but anyway, Armstrong almost goes up for a pile driver, but fights out, and Armstrong sends his man back into the corner. Armstrong with a couple of shots there, and rolling head scissors by Armstrong, grabs onto the arm, and Nightmare catches him with a couple of shots, and again, some headbutts along the way there. Ultimately, we see Nightmare managing to get a double shot there, and ultimately hard shots by Brad Armstrong under the chin, and a drop kick under the chin as well. Irish whip kicks right in the face. Meanwhile, they go brawling to the outside, almost sending Armstrong into the steel post, and eventually does. Referee gets knocked around. Before that happens, referee does disqualify his opponent, or almost does. But Armstrong is on the outside, still recovering from being sent into the steel post, and with only about 10 or 12 minutes left, they come back into the ring. The fight continues, and there is a need for me to get my phone. We'll be back right after this with more action, and we'll see what we can do about getting this particular
incoming team chat request
series of things done. Again, the benefit of things going the way that everybody wants is that the Nightmare eventually does get your victory here. DiBiase and Dr. Death versus the Rock and Roll Express, your final match of the day, with about 12 minutes remaining. Rock and Roll Express, of course, former multi-time tag team champions, and Morton and Gibson against Williams and DiBiase, certainly a major deal. They're kind of holding up I think they might have even won the championships again. But anyway, the Morton and DiBiase are looking to be in very good company here. Morton kind of going around with DiBiase a bit and coming out, I guess you'd say, ahead a little bit. And then DiBiase bumps around for him. Obviously, Ricky Morton, probably one of the best baby faces of all time. And it's clear that DiBiase, Williams kind of bails out. They do a chase spot, and the heels get caught with double drop kicks under the chin, double Irish whips there, and then again the heels bail out a second time. Rock and Roll Express in commanding control. DiBiase and Morton come back together. DiBiase with a couple kicks and some shots right in the face of Morton. Doesn't get him where he wants to be. Morton slides through the legs and hits a Rana for his trouble. Head scissors takeover. Almost gets a pin off that. Does not get the pin, but might as well have gotten as close as you can to a 3 without getting one. Meanwhile, Dr. Death charges into the corner, gets a sunset flip from Robert Gibson for his trouble, and ultimately shoulder tackle there, couple of them, and kicks by the team of Williams and DiBiase on Gibson, and back elbow by Dr. Death. Dr. Death manages to tag to his man DiBiase, and DiBiase snaps him over. Doesn't get all he wants on that. The tie up there, Gibson back in with DiBiase for a minute. DiBiase with a short shot to the midsection, and tag off to Williams. Williams with the elbow drops, the cranks on the reverse chin lock for a minute, and tries to get as much as he can out of simple moves. Anyway, I will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. DiBiase sends his man out to the outside, and ultimately DiBiase gets some continued shots there, and Williams, DiBiase rolls him over 1, 2, 3 and gets a victory as we close. As mentioned, Michael Hayes lets us know that, in fact, Terry Gordy will return. We'll be back with the month of August in Mid-South in a little bit.